What's up, guys? Worthy here. I wanted to talk to you today about a few tips I have for beginners that just started their jiu-jitsu journey on how to progress faster and how to deal with some things you might have encountered already when you started your journey. Number one, if you have any questions or if you have anything that you're not sure about, whether you're doing wrong on a technique or on something just generally related to the gym culture or the gym rules, ask your coach, guys, okay? Every coach, every instructor, every school owner, they all have different rules and expectations for their students, So the easiest thing you can do to make sure that you're being a good student and you're receiving the best information when it comes to like how to counter a specific move or whatever that your coach is teaching, just ask them, right? So I have a lot of students that when I have a question and answer day, they just sit here like this, and then it's like they remember the question after class that they wanted to ask and they just didn't ask it in class. So look, guys, ultimately, as instructors, right, we respond, generally speaking, well to your feedback, right? We respond well to like, hey, so like, how do I do this? I didn't feel like this was explained well, because it gives us, the ability to improve our teaching methods, right? So if you're trying something, whether it be in a live roll or whether you're, just mechanically drilling something that your coach just showed, if you're messing something up or you feel like you're messing something up, just ask your coach, guys. They're happy to help you out. So don't be afraid to ask questions, right? Because ultimately that's detrimental to you, right? You want to ask questions about what you feel you're messing up or something you feel is not working for you, because then we can provide further detail, right? And we can help you guys out with perfecting the move to a greater degree. Number two, build a schedule you can reliably maintain when it comes to taking class, okay? So my curriculum for beginners, for instance, I teach 5 days a week. I teach Monday through Friday. And Mondays and Tuesdays, I have my lesson 1. Wednesdays and Thursdays, I have my lesson 2 from the curriculum. And then Fridays is my question and answer day, right? So I do it this way because not everyone can train 5 days a week or even wants to train 5 days a week, right? So if I do a different lesson every single day, there's a lot of people that are gonna be missing out on really, really important stuff. So I tell my students, look, whatever schedule you can reasonably maintain, just do that. But come at least twice a week. I think you need at least 2 training sessions per week in order to reliably improve week over week, month over month, right? If you're only coming once a week or less, it's gonna be very, very difficult and challenging to improve, right? So for my students, for instance, right, if they come on a Monday, Thursday, they're getting both lessons for the week out of the curriculum, right? If they come Tuesday, Wednesday, same thing, or any other sort of split. But I tell my students, look, if you can train more than 2 days, like 3 days a week is a lot better than 2, right? So, if you do both lessons and then you do my question and answer class on Friday, you're getting a lot more training time, you're getting a lot more material, right? It's 50% more training time than someone who's only training twice per week. So I would say minimum, guys, try to train twice per week and set it on your schedule and commit to it, right? You have to make it a habit of showing up on those days, right? Number 3, watch tape, okay? And I don't mean this channel or, just me. I mean technical tape on people showing moves that you're trying to become more familiar for. Just obviously make sure they're credible. And watch competitive jiu-jitsu matches or like, real life self-defense situations that occurred through the use of jiu-jitsu, right? So like Henry Gracie, he does a great job of breaking this stuff down. So, definitely check him out and see what he says. On how jiu-jitsu applies to real life situations. He does a really good job of breaking that down. Watch the competitive matches too, because you can see what these high-level guys are doing and hopefully be able to implement some of the things that they're doing in their matches, because, oftentimes they're not doing anything too crazy. It's just really simple, basic skill sets performed at a world-class level that you can see and apply oftentimes immediately to your training, right? And number 4, I've said this before, but you should tap early and tap often, right? That's a very easy tip I can tell new people, because, we don't want you guys getting hurt. We don't want you guys, potentially hyperextending an arm or messing a shoulder up or messing your knees and ankles up just because you waited too long in a submission, out of a desire to escape, right? So the nice thing about jiu-jitsu is you get to try again, right? You get tapped, all right, well, we slap, fist bump, and then we restart the roll, right? So you know, don't focus so much on winning one exchange that you lose sight of what your jiu-jitsu journey ultimately is, which is a collection of tons of exchanges, right? So the more transitions and exchanges that you guys can have in the training room, ultimately, that's how much better you'll be. Someone that has 10,000 transitions is going to be way better over the course of a year than someone that has 2,000 transitions, because they're always trying to win every roll. Be willing to make mistakes, be willing to try new things, be willing to tap early and often. These are things that over the long term, and that is what you should be thinking about, your long-term game. These are things that over the long term will make you far better at jiu-jitsu. And the last most important tip I can tell you is, look, those of us who've been training for years or, you know, decades even, that seem untouchable with the amount of knowledge and skill that we have. Trust me, we've been where you are right now, okay? You may not be able to see the peak of the mountain because you're standing at the base, but you need to just climb one rung of the ladder at a time in order to get to the top. Just because, you know, your coach feels like, oh my God, they're just unbeatable, they're kicking my butt all the time, literally nothing that I do works. Yeah, but realize that when your coach was a white belt, just like you, he was just like you in the position of being the person that's getting beat up the entire class, right? And is having nothing work for them, okay? It's about persistence. It's about continuing to try to get into as many of these transitions and exchanges as you can. Practice the moves that you learn in class to the best of your ability. Just do those things over a long enough period of time, and I promise you, you will eventually not suck. It will take longer for some people than others, right? I'll be honest, some people are just naturally gifted. I've had students walk in extremely athletic, they pick up on things quickly, you know, 3 months later, they're getting submissions on purple belts, you know, it is what it is. I have other people that, you know, jiu-jitsu is the first real athletic thing that they've done. Maybe they're a little bit older. It might take them, you know, 2+ years to get their blue belt from their white belt. So the journey for everybody is different, but you can't get lost in comparing yourself to how others are doing, that you forget about the progress you've made in your own journey, right? Because ultimately that's what it's about. Ultimately, we're not trying to be the best person in the gym right away. We're trying to get better as best and efficiently as we can over a long period of time, right? It's a long game. And, you know, getting discouraged just because, you know, someone is getting better much faster, or you're comparing yourself to, you know, people that have been doing this for a very long time, that's detrimental to your progress. Now, that being said, if there is someone in class that you notice is getting really good really quickly, right? You can compare yourself to them a little bit in the sense of like, what are they doing in their training methods that I'm not doing that could help me improve? While you shouldn't get lost in like, oh my God, they're so much better than me, right? You should be like, hey, they're getting good pretty quickly. Like maybe I should ask them what they're doing, you know, what training methods are they using to get better? And you might find some useful information, you know, when you talk to them, and they'll be able to help you progress further and faster. Ultimately, that's what it's all about, guys. We're all just trying to get better. Focus on your own journey, not others. That being said, like I said, do your best to get the best training methods that you can so that you get better, faster over a long period of time. Thanks, guys. Take care.